more responsibility. What does that responsibility look like? Well, the responsibility looks like, well, number one, leading by example and starting small. So I think where parents get this wrong is when they start off with, hey, kids done no work or zero work, and then suddenly jumping to 3 hours a day, right, of study. That doesn't really mesh well with most kids. Okay, I think most kids, if you ask them to do about 10 minutes or 15 minutes of work, right, in a study window, they'd be okay. So I think you have to start small, and you have to kind of slowly increase it day by day, right? And you have to really monitor your child's stress level. So I personally think every child is capable of doing 3 hours of work over a term, right? So if they're starting from zero, by the end of 10 weeks, they should be capable of doing about 3 hours a day. But if you start that on day one, it's not likely to happen. The way that I would recommend going around this is slowly increasing their attention span. So you could start at even just 10 minutes. You could start at 15 minutes, you could start at 20 minutes, and just slowly increasing that every single day to maybe like an hour by the end of month one. And then by the end of month two, increasing that 1 hour to 2 hours of solid work a day. And making sure that you have enough, points in between, or checkpoints in between, to ensure that they're not actually developing any bad habits like, playing games or getting distracted or whatnot. Okay. I think the other thing that I have found to be very useful is to not transfer your own anxiety about a lot of these exams to your child. Okay, so I see a lot of parents get this wrong, where they get really anxious because of stuff that they read or what other parents are saying, and they transfer that anxiety to their kids, and the kids get even more anxious. So even if you're anxious, you kind of need to keep it in yourself, if that makes sense. And I would always try to praise good behavior and not punish bad behavior. So I see a lot of parents spend a lot of time on like punishing bad behavior, and personally, from what I've seen, it doesn't really work. It just creates a more rebellious child. So I'd focus more of the proportion or more of the percentage on praising good behavior and not marks. I've mentioned this already many times. It is obviously very frightening for parents, and obviously very anxiety inducing when you see a child score 40%, or you see a child like crying, when they do their first trial test. But again, I think your responsibility as a parent is not to exacerbate that, but to kind of soothe them and also be that calm kind of beacon of energy. So that's what I mean from the ownership kind of perspective, right?